up guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about why one size does not fit all. Even in regard to things like our anatomy, and I can speak from a physiotherapist point of view, our bones, our joints, our insertions, they are not all created the same. They all look very similar. I mean, our humerus goes into our glenoid cavity in the same way, but these things are all shaped differently. So I'll start off with a really basic example of what I'm saying. So if we look at something like the shoulder press, pushing dumbbells up in the air, what one person can expect from a certain elbow position, whether the elbow is maybe here or here, is going to vary in terms of what you can feel. For some people, a certain elbow position will be better. It's going to cause less pain, less impingement. It's going to be a better biomechanical fit for that person. And then on the other hand, you'll have Joe over here who wants to have his elbows a bit more forward. Maybe his muscles are a bit more tight. Maybe his joints are shaped differently. Really, in many cases, it depends on the person. However, saying this, there are certain positions that we want to adopt to stay on the safe side of normal, if you will. So for example, having your shoulders right back here and pushing up in the air is more likely to cause impingement. Now, generally you can lift more weight like that. There's some sort of risk reward ratio there that you have to consider. And some people have the flexibility, the mobility, the strength, all these things to have absolutely no issue with their shoulders being in a certain position while they're doing shoulder press. Now that's all just one aspect of it. I made a video on steroids the other day. We might compare ourselves to some fitness influencer that we see online taking steroids, maybe even much stronger anabolic androgenic steroids. And the reality of the situation is, for them, another example of why you shouldn't compare yourself to other people is these kind of guys, not only are they artificially enhanced, which is going to give them a huge advantage in terms of muscle building directly, but they can also recover so much more quickly. And then we look at these guys, for example, the likes of Eddie Hall, and nothing against Eddie Hall, I love Eddie Hall, but like, he talks about training for 3 hours a day intensely on a regular basis. Like, this is just not feasible for the average person, for your regular person, no matter what you're doing. Like, there may be some people that can achieve this naturally, but I mean, it's apples and oranges. It's like you're in most cases you're going to be a long way off. So you have to consider these things when you're choosing how much to train. When you're comparing yourself to other people, we cannot train like these guys. Can we look up to them and aspire to be like them? Absolutely. But we have to manage our expectations in line with our abilities and what's actually physiologically possible individually for each person, for yourself, for me, for John, for Betty. You get my point. Now I'll give you one more example, and it's more from a psychological perspective. We are not all brought up and developed. Maybe we're not naturally equipped with the psychological tools to withstand certain aspects of life. Now that's not to say that we cannot develop these skills if we work on it. Let's say something terrible happens in your life, you're a power lifter, you break your leg, you rupture your Achilles. This is going to manifest differently psychologically in everyone. And you might see we have Matt Does Fitness, who is, in my opinion, from what I've seen him go through over the past year since his Achilles tendon rupture, has made a massive comeback. And he must, credit to him, have a high level of mental fortitude to have achieved that. And some people aren't going to be able to do that. And I'm not telling you to not push towards that. I'm just telling you not to directly compare yourself. And then we also have social media comparing our own lives to that of what we see on a screen, which everyone knows isn't realistic. So there we're comparing ourselves to something that's not realistic. And we may also have a lesser degree of, as I said, mental fortitude. And that's not something that we can't work on. There's so many YouTube videos online to help us work on these certain things, to help us develop ourselves, to help us push forward in the face of adversity. I guess what I'm saying is focus on yourself, but look at other people. Use what they're doing to help motivate you. I did make a video now recently saying motivation comes from within, and the small consistencies that you have to go through over a long period of time that actually helps you develop motivation. But that doesn't mean you can't look to these guys who are doing slightly better than you to help get you some motivation. Just remember that we're all built differently, and we all have different paths that we may have to take to get from point A to point B. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it helped you open your eyes up to other pathways or avenues that you may be able to conquer or follow. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.